Arrow Reads is live. And this is the greatest mistake you've ever made in your entire life. The greatest mistake I've ever made in my entire life. Because I don't know what's happening in Faust. So I changed my reading window. Oh no, there it is. So I don't know what's happening here, right? I have no clue. Like, I don't know where we are, is my issue. I know that we're somewhere in Act 4. And I know that there's like a war going on. And I know that Faust is like struggling to have basic reading comprehension. But I'm struggling to have basic reading comprehension. Maybe this is what happens when I've been reading one piece of text over like 3 months. Hello, everyone. Whether you're here watching the VOD or you are here in the comments right now. Bro, like, Faust is just all over the place. Hello. I'm going to sip my water first. There we go. I think I just full send it. I just choose one of the scenes and I just tank it. All of these final acts, like in the first act, some of these scenes were like 500 words. In here, I don't think any of them are under 1,000. So that means I'm probably not going to be able to finish this week. I really want to. I'm not going to lie. I've been done with Faust for a couple weeks now. I'm just kind of done with Faust, but I want to see it through. I want to see how it ends. And I like being able to have been said, I read through Faust. I think that the beginning was weird. And then it got interesting with the wizard duel. And then I do think it kind of fell off from there. However, the modern incarnation of the devil deal arises from Faust, and I think this is a very important piece of literature. Speed read a gamer? Ugh. But I already speed read. My issue is that I speed read for 5 minutes and then I get distracted. And then I talk for 15. And then after the 15-minute conversation, I go back to speed reading. Right now, I would consider this me being distracted. So high mountainous range. This is where they're on the mountain peak. And I was like, wait, why are they on a mountain peak? And then, on the spur of the mountain, the Emperor's tent is pitched. Okay, I didn't need to know that. I didn't need to know that the Emperor was so excited. Yeah, one of the first things that happens in Faust is that there's a wizard duel between Faust and Mephistopheles, which is why my toxic traits reared their head, where after I finished Synthop, I immediately started work on another TTRPG separate from the Stone Age TTRPG I'm working on. And I just kind of like threw some ideas on a page. And now I'm being very good. I am keeping that on the back burner. I'm not touching it. I'm letting it cook. And I'm focused on the Stone Age TTRPG. But freaking A, I have so many ideas I want to do. And I'm very surprised. I'm actually quite pleasantly surprised at how well received Synthop was. Synthop got a lot more positive attention than I was expecting, a lot more downloads, a lot more people that watched the videos of it. But right now, my main focus is the weekly schedule, and I'm going to make a video on Girl Frame. Maybe end of next week. Like I can probably get it done in a week. It's just I read through like my entire free time yesterday. I spent I literally recorded a 3-hour chunk of me reading through the first half of Girl Frame, and about 15% of that recording of me reading through Girl Frame was me just being like, "Oh, this is cool mechanics. I forgot this was a sussy game, right? I forgot this is sussy." And then I would get past the sussy part, and then I go back to the mechanics, and then I'm back to being like, "Oh yeah, this is cool mechanic. Oh, it's sussy. I forgot." So it was quite the experience, I must say. Luckily, I'm out of the weeds. I think I'm now in lore now. I think I got to the missions and the how to play the game on a meta level, rather than the here's how you build a character, here's the different like abilities that you have access to, here's the different moves you can do. So hopefully that goes faster. But I don't know. It was a flashbang, and I will say there are a couple parts that had me blushing. There are a couple parts that had me get all embarrassed. And my plan I'm going to use the footage of me running through in the video, like just sections of it is my plan. I might also drop the full unedited, the raw and cut into Patreon because there's no art, right? So it's not explicit, right? It references events, but nothing is explicit. So I think that should be good on Patreon, which means I'll probably put that behind a paywall on Patreon as just like full unedited, raw, uncut footage where you get to see me squirm for 3 hours, which I feel like people would pay money for. You're going to hold your comments back so you can lock in, but Synthop is really cool. I mean, I'm not locked in yet, so feel free to make your comments. But yeah, Girlframe, my initial thoughts on Girlframe, I actually really enjoy it. And I have a couple characters that I would make if I was to play it, which like, I was not expecting that. I went into the system knowing it is a system that involves 18 plus content, not an 18 plus oriented system. So it is a system that like, I don't think I'd be comfortable playing it with anyone. However, if I was to find myself in a game, I have a couple different characters that I would play. Like I have a couple different frames that interest me and that like playbooks that I want to play. Which characters, if I may ask? I like the idea of, so probably Wyvern V.4, like the giant mech, the giant Legion mech. I think that would be really fun. I like big mechs, and I cannot lie. Like the Barbarossa, the Wyvern, it's just so cool. I also really liked the Prince. The Prince, one of the Monarch class frames. That one was all about like showboating. That one was all about like being out in the front or whatever. So I think that one would be interesting. As like I feel like the Wyvern for girl playbooks, I feel like I like old gen. I like the idea of being a mentor character, you know, and I think that would be very fitting to you are a mentor character in the Wyvern. And for the Prince, obviously the Princess is a archetype that would align with that very well. But I'm kind of thinking like, what if you're like the new girl in the Prince, you know? You are like shot up to being the ace immediately. All of the expectations are on you. And I talked about this when I was going through the clips, or when I was going through the book. Playing a new girl in a game surrounded by like the alpha, the casualty, the old gen, and like a mockingbird, right? So all of these like way worse off characters, and you're just kind of like sparkles in your eyes, like freshly joined, and you're like the cream of the crop. You're the one that was brought forward. You're the one that was like put at the front of the pack, and your entire cadre is falling apart around you. And I think that would be a very interesting character to play. Flying Barbarossa is still flipping scary. I am so happy that my flying Barbarossa doesn't fall at the end of the turn. I thought I could be like, you know, like I could go and like fly by. But everyone was like, no, you fall at the end of your turn. And then one person in chat was like, that's not how flying works. And I was like, what? So I looked it up. It doesn't mention that you fall at the end of your turn flying. It said if you didn't move on your turn, you fall. You can't just stay in one spot, and you have to go in a straight line. That is exactly what I wanted. I want a mobile rocket platform that can just barrage a field. Yeah, you're the newbie magical girl in an eldritch horror world. Exactly. And like, I just think that would be super interesting on multiple facets. On the, I'm in the, like you're the face, right? You are the mentee that like is learning from everyone. You also, despite being the ace, you effectively like you have a mentor that can tell you what to do, which means that even if you retain your status as ace, as long as they're like a wing, because I don't think the dog can be your mentor, as long as they're a wing, like that leads to really interesting circumstances where handler tells you one thing, mentor tells you another thing, you're the ace, you have to like fit with both. And then despite being able to tell anyone else what to do, they can, like, one of them can tell you what to do. And then suddenly that's more interesting character dynamics. Gosh, my reaction to the bond deepening was I was so surprised at the escalation of like, oh, in cadre level bond, you have an open line, like you have a private line of communication in your mechs. That's neat. In like personal bond, like, oh, you have some connection, like you get cadre, but then also you get a +2 or -2 whenever you mess with their tags. And also you have feelings for them. And I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like you're close, like you're best friends, or like you've saved each other's lives or something, or maybe you're like romantically interested. And then the third one is just like, you want to smooch. You want to smooch them. And I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that was like a mechanical thing. Yeah, we're talking about girl frame. You met a girl frame player? I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna guess here. I think probably over 50 to 60% of girl frame players are from my audience. That might be conservative, that might be liberal. I don't know. All I know is that I had a girl frame video that popped off, and then a bunch of people found girl frame from me. Hi, B. It goes hard fast. Yeah, and the girl frame is one where, so I'm halfway through the book, right? I've done all the girl playbooks, I've done all the mech playbooks, I've done all the plays you can do, I've done like advancements, like I've gone through all of that. I do like how at times with the advancements, like with the girl or the frame playbooks, it's so powered by the apocalypse. It's just so nice being able to like read the system and be like, oh, I know how this works. I've played other games like this with the advancements on the frames. I was so happy. I'm not gonna lie. I was so happy that we hit frames, and each of them has a class, and you have like the what is it? Like the consume priestess class. You have the like changeling priestess class. So like they're linked aesthetically, and in longer form games, you're allowed to get class-based mechanics, which I think is really cool, because then if you're playing a consume and someone else is playing a changeling, you look superficially similar, you play very differently, but you get a couple mechanics that are aligned there. She's not in your audience. I think she's not on the Discord. I do think she fits the stereotype of the player you find for girl frame. I got a bit startled when I learned it. That's really funny. Like, and that's the thing is girl frame is a system where, like, obviously no shade if anyone wants to play an NSFW sussy TTRPG. But like I'm not looking for that. I think it would be really funny. I think it would be really funny if my first like actual play was I went to a different streaming service and I streamed live on that service and like a girl frame game. But like that's not my vibe. I mentioned multiple times when I was going through it, like, yeah, I am not on the same wavelength as this game, and that's okay, right? That doesn't mean it's a bad game. I actually think it's a very good game from what I've seen thus far. There are some nitpicky bits that I brought up as I was going through, and there were some things where I just fully was like, I'm a little bit lost in the sauce. Like, can you reduce your bond with another player character below cadre? Like, that's just not really addressed. And just minor stuff like that, minor questions, which is obviously like a FAQ and it's done, or it's a just the GM can rule it however they want. Your vibes clash. Yeah, I mean, like, who would have thought? I am not someone that is all about like bearing it all. Like, I do think I legitimately think it'd be very funny and honestly kind of unique to play an NSFW TTRPG on stream. I think that'd be really funny. However, that's not really my cup of tea, and that would have to be like I'm with people I trust, Obviously I would have to make sure that no one makes it weird and that doesn't get in the hands of people who shouldn't be seeing it. Like there'd be a lot of overhead on top of it, but I do think it'd be very funny. I think you can lose bond. I mean, you can lower your bond. I just don't know if you can go below cadre. That's a mood, also not on that wavelength. It's, the content notes are no. Yeah, the content notes, I read them, and I'm like, that's more than I expected, but about what I expected, you know what I mean? Like there was more content warnings than I expected, but the actual content it was warning of is about what I expected. And then playing through it, I was like, I see why. Like one of the mechanics is you become helpless, and then like multiple times it mentions like they can do whatever they want to you, which I take to mean they can like interrogate you, beat you up, whatever. But I know the game means something else, right? And I choose to not engage with that part of the game because that makes me uncomfortable. And then there's one girl archetype which is all about like drugging yourself and drugging others, and that's something where it's just like that's kind of super bad, you know, like. And it's a game that's, I would say it's very intensely itself. I'm not going to say it's unabashedly itself. I'm going to say it's very intensely itself. It's very passionately itself. And that's the sort of thing where like, I respect that, you know? I think that it doesn't glorify a lot of the bad stuff that it includes, but it kind of like, it gestures vaguely at them. I was surprised at how implicit a lot of the system was. A lot of Girl Frame is, I mean, it's not spoken in euphemism, but a lot of the punchline, so to speak, the climax, so to speak, is not explicitly brought up, right? It's set up like, oh yeah, like you can flirt with your opponents and you can like bring them underneath you, and then like you can leave them helpless, and then it goes on to the next topic. So like, you know what a lot of players are going to do from there. You know what it's opening up for you. You have a range of options that you can do from there. And like, I kind of appreciate that it doesn't feel the need to go into the details. Similarly with the like NSFW scenes, because like there's mechanics for the NSFW scenes. That's something where it kind of just says like, hey, set up the scene, say what you want to do, roll, explore how your characters differ and how that impacts the scene that they are enacting. And then how do you part ways? Which I think was interesting because that's how most scenes go. Like it's just how most scenes are. It just happens to be one of an NSFW variety, which I thought was really interesting. Again, vaguely uncomfortable the entire time, but I believe in exploring your boundaries by pushing discomfort. I honestly skimmed Girl Frame, so I don't know all of this. Yeah, I was going to just skim it, but then I was like, no, I think it would be a good Patreon thing to upload it just like me reading through. So I spent 3 hours going through like 80 pages, right? I spent like 3 hours going through like 80 pages and reading everything. And I skimmed a couple sections because I was like, oh, I know how a TTRPG works. I can skip by their explanation of that. I'm not going to skip by what does girl versus pilot versus frame versus Gorgon mean, right? Just the fact that content warnings are called content notes sets a tone for when you read. Oh yeah, I didn't even pick up on that. I just kind of like was like, yeah, okay, so this is like buyer beware. You do apologize for sharing this conversation. No, you're fine. I chose to engage with Girl Frame knowing basically exactly what I was signing up for, and then I got what exactly I was signing up for. And like, I've talked to the dev. Like I spoke with her in email back when the video first came out. That's how I got my review copy. And I'm probably going to reach out to her again and be like, hey, finally got a chance to read it. I'm going to make a video. Here's a couple questions I have. But like, I went into this having like gotten the hey, why did you make this? Like, what was the point? Like, why include NSFW stuff versus what would you say to people that don't want to play with that content? Like, I already had a comprehensive view, right? A overview of the system. So it's no big deal. But Faust, I would say the furthest thing from Girl Frame, but not really. Like, the parallels are there. I'm not going to like Do I have to make a video talking about how like the parallels of Faust and Girlfriend, where it's just like, yeah, they both deal with like the dehumanization of its main character or characters. However, they go about it in completely different ways. And the object of desire and the deepening of bonds being a twisted and perverted form of actual socialization is present in both pieces of media, just taken in two different ways. One is more physically oriented, while the other is more romantically oriented, where you have Faust trying to win the heart of this woman that he does not know but only values for her physicality, whereas in Girlfriend you value your fellow girls as well as like your handler and NPCs for their physicality in a different sense. And like the parallels, ooh, Faust time, baby. You're cooking with the analysis right now. Like, I said it as a joke and then I'm like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Which obviously, oh wow, the modern piece of media that involves some sort of bad deal that is like really negatively affecting the people that tried to benefit from it, that has parallels to the story about a guy who makes a bad deal that really negatively impacts him when he tried to have positivity. Like, oh my gosh, media literacy isn't dead. Weird amount of parallels from what 1800 lit and TTRPG Yuri. Oh, one less girlfriend thing. I did think it was very interesting that one of the first things in the book is like, why lesbians? And then it explains that like lesbians, there's a bunch of them and they're really sad, and that in the meta of the universe is more efficient to just get more lesbians than it is to change the neural uplinks to better fit with other demographics and psychologies. And then there's a little aside that says like, some pilots may identify other than lesbian, and this is simply confusion on their part, and they will come around later. And that's like, oof, the allegories. Like, I'd say that's not subtle, but like, I mean, it has a veil over it. It's hiding under the sheet and going boo instead of just standing in front of you. Like, but the idea of being like, oh yeah, you are this thing, and if you say you're not this thing, you're just confused and you'll come around in time. So yeah, I don't think it's trying to be either. Like one more final thing, because I spent like 3 hours on this yesterday. I have a lot to say. Which probably, if I was smart, I would have been writing my script yesterday. But I want to read the entire book. Like, I want to get through the book before I start my script. The layout. I am so pleased with the layout of the book. There's like no art, which, as someone that just released a no art TTRPG, I'm very happy with. Girlfriend starts with like content warnings, how to play a TTRPG, a couple notes on terms, and then it starts going like, here are your moves. Here are the mechanics of your moves. Here are the playbooks. Here's how you make a girl. Here's how you make a frame. Like, here's how you do advancements. And then like, it just hits the ground running with character creation. There's not 40 pages of what is a Gorgon and what is void space? How did we get here? Well, back in 20XX, first we discovered that like it doesn't go into that. It mentions a couple things, and the latter half of the book, I assume, is where all the lore. I stopped right at when I got to like section 12, which is the play area. Like, there's all of this stuff where it's just like all of the context that I'm going to read like once is in the latter half of the book. All of the mechanics that I'm going to reference over and over and over are in the front of the book, which is what I think you should have TTRPG design be, right? Like, even, and then I don't think, I think the NPC and the Gorgon stat blocks are out the back of the book, which, again, you want a bookend. You want to have front is how character stuff is, rear of the book is enemy stuff. The center, the latter half, that can all be context, lore, stuff like that. I'm looking at you, Vampire the Masquerade. I'm looking at you, Werewolf the Apocalypse, and all of the other World of Darkness suite, like Hunter the Reckoning. So with that said, I mean, that's kind of how the Powered by Apocalypse system works. Yeah, like just it's a good mark of book design, of graphic layout, right? Drums and martial music heard from below. The Emperor's... Have we done this one? Have I read this one? Right, the hold fast. Bro, I don't even know. We have done this one? I'm just gonna go with the rival Emperor's tent. Because I remember some of them. I just don't know if they showed up in the previous chapter. Okay. Chapter I finished on? Oh, gosh. Who are the ravens? Did I just forget them? I don't know if we talked to the Emperor. Did we? I'm just going to start reading if I realize halfway through I read it. Drums and martial music heard from below. The Emperor's tent is pitched. Emperor, Commander-in-Chief, attendants. I still am satisfied 'twas best to draw here to the valley here. To draw back to the valley here. Our forces, when so hotly pressed, 'twill win the day for us, I'm clear. The event will show how that may be, but this half-flight, this yielding, troubles me. Look at our right flank, ground, my liege, like this. Not for the world would a true soldier miss. The hills not steep, yet steeper than they show. Odds in our favor, odds against the foe. Whilst on the wave-like plain half-hid we lie, their cavalry will never dare come nigh. Naught's left but me to praise, stout heart. Stout arm, can here play well their part? Here where the central plain spreads many a rood, you see the phalanx in true fighting mood. Their lances, by the early sun rays kissed, shimmer and sparkle through morning mist. How dark waves to and fro, the massive square. Their 1,000 hearts beat high to do or dare. How strong we are, by this you may divine. To them I trust to break the enemy's line. Now for the time this fair sight I see, worth twice its number such a host must be. Nothing to say of our left flank have I. The stubborn rock stout heroes occupy. Yon broken cliff that gleams with the arms, secure the entrance to the pass, and so ensures that here the enemy, surprised, will break their force compact and bloody shipwreck make. See where they come, my traitor kin. Oh, how they call me cousin, uncle, brother. Now, still more and more presumptuous they grew, stripped me of power, of kingly reverence due, then, by their feuds, laid my whole kingdom waste, and now in rebel league to crush me haste, from side to side while the people sway, then in the torrent's whirl are swept away. A trusty spy to gather news sent out, come hurrying down the rocks, all ill news, I doubt. But what guile and daring may, and by many an artful tact, here and there we force our way, yet small comfort bring we back. Loyalty to thee was sworn, but many in fine words, but all hung back, for they said, were won by public peril, civic brawl. Oh, for themselves atoned self-seekers care, duty, love, honor, gratitude or not. Well, when things are doing well, who takes to thought how, when the next house burns, his own may fare? Here comes another, slow, with heavy feet. He quakes in every limb, and seems dead beat. Glad we were, when we detected tumult raging, wild and weird. All at once, and unexpected, a new emperor appeared. Straight, submissive to his mandate. O'er the plains the people sweet, his false flag as he had planted it, they all follow, the very sheep. A rival emperor as a boon I hail. Emperor I never felt myself till now. As a mere soldier did I don my mail. For higher ends my casque now rings my brow. For every fete, though brilliant it may be, complete throughout, yet danger lacked for me. When at your wish, till tilt at ring I went, my belt beat high, I breathed the tournament. And had you not for more withheld me, fame for deed heroic would have crowned my name. Mine was a soul, I felt, of dauntless mold. When yonder sea of fire around me rolled, it pressed upon me, threatening direful fate. 'Twas show, mere show, and yet the show was great. Wild dreams I've had of victory and fame. Now will I do what left undone was shame. Heralds are dispatched with a challenge to the rival emperor. Enter Faust in armor, his visor half closed. The 3 mighty men equipped and dressed as before. Behold us here, unchid withal. We hope. For foresight, even when things are safe, their scope. The mountain folk, thou knowest, think and brood, deciphering the signs in thoughtful mood, that all throughout nature and the rocks are strewed. Spirits, that long have left the plains, cling still with fondness to lone peak and misty hill. Through labyrinthine chasms their work is speed, mid gases reek by fumes metallic bred. They separate, test, combine, and never rest, of something new forevermore in quest. With the light hand of spiritual power, they build up forms translucent hour by hour. Then in the crystal, dumb although it be, the upper world and all it does they see. This I have heard, and I believe it true. But what have we, friend, with all this to do? The sorcerer of Sabine Norcia, Norcia? The sorcerer of Sabine Norcia thou hast to thy service bound. He serves thee now. How dreadful the fate hung over him, and dire. The brushwood crackled, upshot tongues of fire. Piled were the sapless billets around him, which were intermixed with brimstone rods and pitch. Save him nor man, nor god, nor devil could. But thou didst burst these bonds of blazing wood. This was at Rome. That service ne'er forgot, to guard thy welfare is his constant thought. Still from that hour of self-unheeding, he questions the stars, the deeps, and all for thee. He charged us straight to make thy business ours, and stand by thee. Great are the mountain's powers, nature in them works so supremely free. The stupid priests denounce as sorcery. On days of festal, when my guests I greet, who, brimmed with pleasant thoughts, for pleasures meet, it gladdens me to see that throngs and press, and with the crowd, the hall grows less and less. But welcomer than all the man must be, who chivalrously come to stand by me, here with the dawn, when perilous issues wait, and o'er us darkly hang the scales of fate. But at this crisis grave, where now we stand, keep from thy ready sword thy stalwart hand. Respect the hour, when mighty hosts draw near, for and against me, to do battle here. Self makes the man, who covets crown or throne, must provide his claim by prowess of his own. As for that phantom who against us stands, dubs himself emperor, ruler of our lands. The army's duke, my noble's rising son, let him to death by my own hand be done. Okay, so Faust wanted to show up, save the emperor's life. Got Mephistopheles to help him. Showed up with some dudes. Was going to be a general. Let the generals do the general stuff, but he'd take all the credit. Emperor's like, nah fam, I got this, watch. And he's just going to 1v1 the supplanting emperor. Crazy. He built different. Though it were glorious thus an end to make, if we're not well, my liege, thy life to stake. With crest and plume is not the helmet dight. It guards the head that nerves us for the fight. Without the head, what would the limbs avail? If that grew torpid, these all faint and fail. If that be hurt, all these are wounded too. If healed, then vigor stirs in them anew. Straight will the arm its stalwart right assert. It lifts the shield to save the skull from hurt. The sword as swiftly will its duty show, parry with vigor and return the blow. The foot takes part in their success, and treads triumphant on the downstruck foeman's head. Mephis the goat. Listen, Mephistopheles is the best character in this by far. Such is my anger, him I thus would treat, so make his head a footstool for my feet. Little honor, little profit, we have met with, where we went, rudely did they scorn and scoff it. That brave challenge which you sent, your emperor, pshaw, we mock and flout him. Feeble echo in yon vale. When we think or speak about him, pshaw, we say, a bygone tale. Things have fallen out as they would wish them who stand by your side unswervingly and true. The foe draws near, thy troops on fire. Do thou command the attack. No better time than now. My claim to lead the host I here resign, and now that duty, good my lord, is thine. Let the left wing step forward to the field. The enemy's left, now coming up the slope, shall, ere they reach the top, be forced to yield. With our young seasoned troops they cannot cope. Let the blithe hero here, I pray your grace, within your ranks and quickly take his place, and, with your troops incorporated so, the sterling stuff that he is made of show. Who looks me in the face? He runs the hazard of being well scored over cheek and mazard. Who turns his back to me? Well, he may risk it, but now he'll topple, cleft with trying to brisket. And if your men will only then, with sword and mace strike home like me, your foes amain will strew the plain, bathed in their blood as in a sea. Now let our central failings follow slow, with force compact and wary meet the foe. Already their right wing a check has met. Their plans are by our tactics quite upset. What is that voice? I think it's the voice I gave him last time. This bully is a returning character. I have to match their voices. Let him there also follow your commands. With the army's pluck, heroic and fine, shall thirst for plunder and pillage combine. On this one object be all intent, the rival emperor's gorgeous tent. Not shall he flaunt it there in pride, to the onslaught myself with the phalanx guide. Pillage fast, subtler woman, fawning upon him. You pillage fast, subtler woman. Sorry, I immediately had to send that to one of my friends. Just like, you pillage fast, subtler woman. What, ye triple donkey? Although his wife I may not be, he's the dearest of fancy men to me. What a harvest awaits us there! Your drab is a very devil to gripe and grab. Where she plunders and rifles, no pity has she. Once win, and to do what you like, you're free. As we foresaw, upon our left their right is hurled in force. Each man of ours will fight to the last gasp to hold the foe in check that tries to storm the gorge's narrow neck. Pray you, sir, not note yon fellow too. What harm if strength consents itself with strength to arm? For the left wing dismisses all care. 'Twill hold its own when I am there. The old one about him has all his wits. What I once grasped, no lightning splits. Look now, how there behind our left, from every jagged rocky cleft, armed men press onward, closely packed, the pass still further to contract. With casque, cuirass, sword, shield, and spear, a bulwark at our backs they rear, waiting the signal to strike home. You must not ask me whence they come. I've not been slow since I went out. I've cleared the armories round about. They stood on foot or horseback there, as if the lords of earth they were. Knights, kaisers, kings they were of yore, now empty snail shells, nothing more. Many the ghost himself with these has decked, and to the life the Middle Ages played. Whatever imps be now in them arrayed, for this once they'll produce a rare effect. Hark! What a temper they are in! Mail clanks against mail with clattering din. Torn banners, too, are fluttering there, that longed again to breathe fresh air. Here we have got an ancient people, who fain in the modern fray would mingle too. Tremendous blare of trumpets from above, perceptible wavering in the hostile army. Dark their horizons grow, meseems, breaks here and there in fitful gleams, a ruddy and portentous shine. The spears, blood-boltered, flash and glare, the rocks, the wood, the very air, all heaven in sympathy combine. The right flank stoutly holds its ground, but towering their midst, I see the giant bully, dealing free those swashing strokes of his around. At first I saw one arm up, now a dozen rage there. Anyhow, this can't be natural or right. Hast thou not heard of mists that round the coast of Sicily abound? There, hovering clear in broad daylight, uplifted high in middle air, mirrored in exultations rare, a wondrous vision meets the gaze. Towns oscillating to and fro, gardens now high, now sinking low, picture on picture breaking through the haze. But yet, how strange, see each spearhead, as if with lightning flashes red. While moves the host on every lance, I see a flamelit flit and dance. To me, it looks too spectral, quite. Forgive me, these things glimpses show of spirits gone hence long ago, the famous twins revealed once more, by whom of all old seamen swore, for our last stroke they nerve their might. To whom then do we owe it, say, that nature in this wondrous way, for us should spells so rare unite? To whom, but to the mighty master, whom in his breast thy fate doth keep, to see thee menaced with disaster, stirred feelings in him strong and deep. So thou art saved, he gladly would meet death to prove his gratitude. Round me that the time with cheers and pomp they pressed, then I was something. This I wished to test. So without thinking, seized the chance, and there gave the white-bearded fellow some fresh air. By this I robbed the clergy of a treat. Thus was my fall in their good books complete. Now, after all these years, am I to test the outcome of a deed done half in jest? Rich interests follow generous deed. Now turn your gaze on high. He will some signal send, methinks. Give heed. It will anon be visible. An eagle hovers in the vaulted blue. Him doth a griffin, fierce to flight, pursue. Now hark, this augurs well, at least. The griffin is a fabled beast. What? He to wrangle with the eagle, a bird so real and regal? See now, in circles wide they float, each coursing each, and now they clash together, and with gash on gash, rend one another's breast and throat. Look, look, the sorry griffin, how, all rent and scarred, he staggers, drops his lion tail, and see, he now is lost amid the pine tree tops. May this portend what is to be. Lost in a maze, I wait to see. See, the enemy give back, pressed by our still renewed attack, and feebly keeping up the fight, they're falling back upon their right. The left of their main body so they into dire confusion throw. Now on the right, our failing springs its serried front, like lightning flings itself on the weak spot, and straight, as ocean waves in stormy weather, the forces, matched in bulk and weight, in fray tumultuous clash together. Nothing was ever better done, for us this battle has been won. Look! Yonder something seems amiss. What can be the cause of this? No stones upon the foe are hailed, and they the lower cliff have scaled. None keep the heights a blow to strike. Look there! The foe in serried mass, still pressing on, belike have gained possession of the pass. Of ways unblessed the issue plain. These sleights of yours are all in vain. My ravens here their flight are winging. What can the message be they're bringing? The other side, I fear, prevails. What may these ill-starred birds presage? Hither they bend their swarthy tails, straight from the rock flight's fiery rage? Sit down by me, at either ear. Whom you protect need never fear, for your advice is sound and sage. Hast never heard of pigeons, who back to their nests and fledgling flew from regions strange to them and far? That's the case here, though different. The pigeon post in peace is sent, the raven's post required for war. So many gosh darn birds, yeah, I know. Well, so the eagle was a griffin, I think. I don't know. Listen, Emperor, you're losing with the power of the devil on your side. I don't know what you want. They tell me of a grievous pinch. Look how they're pressing, inch by inch, around our hero's rocky wall. The nearest heights are stormed, alas, and if we were to lose the pass, our case would be most critical. Betrayed, I'm betrayed at last. 'Tis you have round me drawn the net. Horror, to feel it holds me fast. Courage, there's nothing lost as yet. Patience unties the hardest knot, works hottest when at the end's at hand. I trusty messengers have got. Command, that I may take command. These men thou hast to counsel ta'en, to me were first and last a pain. The battle now I cannot mend it. 'Twas they began, and they may end it. My baton I to thee restore. Not so! Retain it till the fates perchance may send us happier hours. I shudder at this fellow's powers, and his weird bird confederates. Give you the baton? Surely no. You're not, methinks, the proper man. Command! Avert our overthrow, and so betide what can. His baton, pooh! What silly fuss. Small profit would it bring to us. There was a kind of cross upon it. What will you do? Do? I have done it. Hence my black cousins, apt and fleet, to the great mountain lake, the undines greet, and for the semblance of a flood entreat. By arts hard to divine, of female scheming, they from the thing that is part the seeming, and that is the very thing will swear. Our ravens have with flattery rare cajoled the water nymphs from their lair. See, trickling rills begin to gush, from many a dry bare rocky brow, the springs in full swift volume rush. Yon victory is no victory now. Strange greeting that, what follows next? The boldest climber is perplexed. Brook downwards bounds the... That's a tongue twister. Brook downward bounds to brook in headlong course. From the ravines they rush with twofold force, and now in one bright arch the torrent sweeps. Wide o'er the rocks it spreads, a shining flat, flashes and foams to his side and to that. A ledge by ledge into the valley leaps. What boots the bravest heart a tide to stay? Must sweep before it everything away. My very flesh to see such havoc creeps. Nothing see I of all these water lies. Illusions these only for human eyes. This wondrous hap to me is sheer delight. Huddled in heaps, they turn in headlong flight. Fancying the fools, they will be drowned, and puff and blow on solid ground, their arms like swimmers striking out. Now all is confusion, utter rout. To the great master I'll speak well of you. Now would you prove yourselves true masters too? Hence to the smithy, belching fire, where the dwarf folk that never tire strike sparks from metal and from stone. Ask them for fire, while lightly chattering. Fire, brilliant, dazzling, sputtering, spattering. Such as but to fancy known. Lightning, no doubt, far in the sky, and stars swift shooting from on high. May any summer night be seen, but lightning on the brushwood gleaming, and stars that hiss on ground that's steaming, and are not such common sights, I ween. So, without fuss, you understand, you first must beg, and then command. The ravens fly away, and all happens as prescribed. Thick darkness settles on the foe, which way to turn they do not know. Meteors all round, and sudden light, to dazzle and confound the sight. Magnificent! But now we want some sound to terrify and daunt. The empty arms from ancient halls that came find the fresh air breathe vigor through their frame. They're rattling, banging, clattering up there. A wonderful discordant blare. Quite right. They're not to be kept back. Now ringing our nightly whack on whack, as is the famous good old days. Gauntlet, cuirass, and cuisses too, as gilfas and gibelines. Gibelines? As gelfas. No, could you give me a quick synopsis of what's going on? Okay, so Faust wants to become a landed noble. So the emperor of, I think, his home, which is like Germany, like proto-Germany, the emperor has been deposed and now has a group of loyalists protecting him and rebels supported by the clergy are fighting him. Faust was like, hey, Mephistopheles, I want to be a noble. So Mephistopheles is like, sure, just show up and save him from this battle, get him back on the throne, and he will make you a noble. And Faust is like, okay, you do that. And Mephistopheles said, no, you got to do that, champ. So Faust is now basically attempting to take credit for solving this warfare and helping out the emperor. And so Mephistopheles is basically commanding all of the natural spirits of the world to do a bunch of illusions, like flooding the mountain that they're on, sending meteors from the sky, having it turn night and having like the stars die in the sky. And so now they're doing like all of the senses and they're hitting this other enemy with all of these senses. So they're disorganized, they're disarrayed, they're easy to fight. And now they're winning a losing battle. Quite right. They're not to be kept back. Now, as Gilphus and Gibelines renew full tilt their never-ending phrase, film and transmitted rancor, they a hate implacable display. Now far and wide they tumult braze, and so at every devil's fete, naught works as well as party hate. Down to the last convulsive throw, wild sounds that scatter fear and panic, mingled with piercing yells satanic, ring down in the veil below. More tumult in the orchestra, passing at last into a cheerful military music. So, like, I liked this more than most of the rest of Faust. I do like a good, like, hey, this is like a military political fiction that has a wizard show up. Like, that's cool. And it does make me think, what about a magic system where you have divine magic, which is impacting the world, and you have fiend magic, which is impacting the mind? So you can, like, fiends are masters of illusion, and divine magic, like angels, are masters of changing the natural world. And that's why, ultimately, even no matter how powerful the fiends are, they will always lose because they cannot actually control what is real. However, the fiends have a death grip on humanity because humans trust their minds over reality. So even though angels can rise a mountain from the ground before you, the fiends can rise a mountain range before you, illusory. And you will trust that the fiend is more powerful. And the fiend can like mess with your mind, whereas the angels can't mess with your mind. The angels can actually give you 10,000 like gold coins, but the fiends can give you 1,000,000 copper coins that look like they're gold. And so it's this thing where it's the great con of every human in existence. Great, now give me a system. I mean, I could very easily fit that into the system that I'm currently making with the like spiritualist, which is based off of like the spirit duel earlier in this. Because it's all about calling on spirits, and I can make that like I could make that one is all about summoning spirits, and I can make a different one that's all about illusions. Because that's the same system where I have like Inigo Montoya, where it's all about like anytime you take an action, you have the option of making it harder for yourself to gain honor, which gives you bonuses to attacks. So it's the idea of like by handing your weapon to your opponent before you fight and letting them examine it and letting them like hold you basically at mercy before you fight them and like telling them your name and like who you are and why you're fighting, like that makes you more powerful. Because I can't think of a single system that does that. And that is one of my favorite scenes from Princess Bride is when the Dread Pirate Roberts is climbing the thing, the wall, and Inigo Montoya is like, hey, I can toss you this rope. And Dread Pirate Roberts is like, no, I'm not going to trust you. And then Inigo just goes, I swear on the name of my dead father that I will make sure you get to the top of here. And then Dread Pirate Roberts trusts him and then brings him up. And then they have a conversation where they hand each other their weapons and they explain like, here's who I am. Here's why I'm here. Here's what my name is. Oh, I'm the Dread Pirate Roberts, but you don't get to know my true name. And then he goes, fair. Like, I just love that. I was joking. Please take none of my opinions into your projects. Well, I was already thinking that before you said it. So it's actually my idea that you were just being supportive of. Throne, rich surroundings. Have quick pillage. Sorry. How did you get in here? Since when were you in my room? What? Tink? Wait. The door is closed. When did you get in here? Have you been in here for the past hour? What? Tink? What? My roommate's cat is in my room. My roommate's cat is in my room, and I just hear like scratching behind me, and I'm like, what? And I turn around, and I think it's her at the door, like trying to get in. But no, she's just like trying to open one of my cabinet doors. Like, when did you get in here? I'm gonna let you out. That is so silly. That's so funny. Oh no, I'm gonna sneeze. The cats can teleport, don't you know? I mean, I know they're liquid, so she could have just like slipped under the door. Who knows? We're first upon the field, you see. No ravens fly fast so quick. No raven flies so fast as we. Oh look, what heaps of treasure there. Where to begin? To finish where? So cram the place with plunder sands. I know not where to lay my hands. That carpet suits me to a T. My bed is often too hard for me. A Morgenstern of steel, just such as I yearn for longed. A Morgenstern of steel, just such as I for years have longed for much. That scarlet cloak with gold seams, one like it has often crossed my dreams. With this one makes short work, a blow, the fellow's dead, and on we go. You've packed up such a lot, and yet not managed the right sort to get. Leave all that rubbish where it lay. Take one of these small chests away. The army's pay to hold, its belly stuffed with gold. 'Tis mortal heavy, more than I am fit to lift or carry. Try! Quick, stoop, duck down, and let me pack the box upon your sturdy back. Alack, alack, I'm done for. Whew. It fairly breaks my back in two. There lies the red gold, all a heap. Quick, quick, and up the shiner sweep. Into my lap with them. With this we shan't do much amiss. There, that's enough. Off with you, pack. Your apron has a hole, alack! Whether you stand or move, no matter. The treasure recklessly you scatter. This spot is sacred. What are you about? Rifling the Emperor's treasure trove, I doubt? A limb, life we risk, and cheaply for his sake. And of the booty now, our share we take. 'Tis common usage, friend, the victors do. And as for us, why, we are soldiers too. That makes no part of our belief. A soldier, quotha, and a thief! The man who serves our Emperor must be one whose honesty we trust. That honesty, right, well we know. You name it contribution, though you're all on the same footing here. The password of your trade is give. Start off with what you sacked. 'Tis clear. We're anything but welcome here. The saucy knave! Why broke you not his pate upon us? That saucy knave! Why broke you not his pate upon the spot? Can't tell. I felt unnerved. They were so phantom-like and weird a pair. Something went wrong about my sight. 'Twas dazzled. I saw nothing right. What it means, I fathom not. All throughout the day it was so hot. Oppressive, close such sultry smother. One kept his feet, down dropped another. We groped and laid out us, so a foeman filled every blow. Before our eyes they waved a mist, within our ears it buzzed and hissed. So things went on, and here we are, but know not how things came to be. Ha ha! Sorry, that was the obligatory cameo. Schrodinger has observed this phenomenon in cat. Everywhere outside of your field of vision can or cannot have a cat, hence why they're in a state of existing. Sure. Emperor the Emperor with 4 princes. The halberdiers retire. peak aerodub. Listen, it's not a real aerodub unless a car alarm starts going off in the distance. Every day, every week, it's a Friday thing. Like, it's a Friday. It's at like 1 p.m. Friday. I don't know why they do their alarm every time. I guess is it like street cleaning? Maybe, I don't know. Oh, weird. Well, leave him to his fate. The day is ours. In panic rout, the beaten foe across the plain is scattered all about. Oh, is this our emperor? I thought this was the rival emperor. It's weird that it's just me and B here. Yeah, I mean, that's how member streams tend to go. Is that members tend to be like way fewer people because I think there's only like 15 members. So it's only a couple people. That's why I tend to just focus on this. But I'm a yapper, right? I'm a yapper. I will absolutely get distracted by myself with nothing. So that's why it's like you can just chat as much as you want. That's why it's a member stream. And then when people watch the VOD, they can be like, oh, typing in the comments, I think the cameo voice that you did was so silly, and I'm going to comment this 3 times to boost this video in the algorithm, because what you need is a boost to all of your Faust readings of all things. Well, leave him to his fate. The day is ours. In panic rout, the beaten foe across the plain is scattered all about. Here stands the empty throne. Oh, this is our emperor. Oh, got it. Here stands the empty throne. Here finds the traitor's treasure place, and, hung around with tapestries, contracts the narrow space. We, rich in honor, shielded by our own true guards the while, await our people's envoys here in high imperial style. From every side come tidings in, glad tidings hour by hour, that peace is to a realm restored, that gladly owns our power. If, in the stand we made, some sleights of jugglery, burglary, straight jurgling it. Some sleights of jugglery were wrought. Yet when all said, 'twas alone, and only we who fought. Mere accidents for those who fight will sometimes work to good. Here falls from heaven a meteor stone. There rains a shower of blood. Sounds of a wild and wondrous kind boom from the caverns near, that makes our hearts beat high, and fill the foeman's heart with fear. A mark for lasting jeer and scorn, the vanquished prone is laid. By the exulting victor praise to the favoring God is paid. No need to give command, for all unite with one accord, from thousand throats to cry, we give thee thanks and praise, O Lord! Yet, best and high praise of all, I turn on mine own breast, which rarely I have done before, mine eyes in pious quest. A young gay-hearted prince may waste the happy days are his, the rolling years teach how momentous every moment is. Therefore, no more will I delay, but link myself with you, to stand for home and court and realm, ye worthy for and true. 'Twas you, O prince, who skillfully and well deposed our host, who in the crisis of the day showered nerve and skill the most. Now when the time demands work thou, peace being thus restored, arch-marshal henceforth be thy name. To thee I give the sword. Thy faithful troops, till now engaged within the realm alone, when they have made thy frontier safe, and safe with it thy throne, then be it ours, our holidays, when thronging guests are poured through thy ancestral banquet halls, to dress thy festive board. Before thee then the sword I'll bear it by thy side, of sovereign majesty at once the symbol, guard, and guide. Let him who doth a valiant heart with courtesy unite, such thou, be my arch-chamberlain. The duties are not light. Within our royal household, be the head supreme of all. Ill service do I get from them, so prone are they to brawl. Henceforth, by thy example taught, may they be more inclined to be to me, the court, and all obliging, courteous, kind. The master's lofty purposes to bring further bringeth grace, to bring help to the good, and not to injure even the base, to be without dissembling frank, and calm without deceit. If thou, sir, see me through and through, my joy is all complete. May fancy on the feast. Who else up fancying they feast? Where's the cat? I need to get the cat back here. May fancy on that feast to come be pre-adventure bent. The golden basin at the board to thee I shall present. Thy rings for thee I hold, so that thy hand refreshed may be, as my heart will at that glad time rejoice in smiles from thee. My mood is soothed is now too grave on festive thoughts to rest, and yet not so. To start afresh with cheerfulness is best. You as arch-steward I select. Henceforth, under you shall be my forest and their game, my farm, my poultry too. Let me select the dishes that I love, and you prepare these dishes, as each month shall bring its own with heedful care. Gladly will I all meats forego, my appetite might whet, until some dish will glad thy heart, before thee shall be set. The kitchen staff shall join with me, to bring what's distant here, and to accelerate, besides, the seasons of the year. The charms not far, nor early cheer, where with thy tables graced, plain food and nourishing is more congenial to thy taste. Since revelry and feast alone perforce engage us now, young hero, beautiful as brave, my cupbearer be thou. As arch cupbearer, let henceforth this special care be thine, to see our cellars richly stored with the very choicest wine. But be thou temperate thyself, and never lose thy head, by thy exhilarating lures of social mirth misled. Even striplings, O my lords, if trust in them be only shown, are found ere on one may look about, to man's full vigor grown. So I at that high feast as well shall duly take my place. The imperial sideboard I shall deck with truly royal grace, with goblets silver and gold and too magnificent to see. But chief will choose a beaker, far excelling all, for thee. A clear Venetian glass, wherein a joy delicious waits, gives fuller flavor to the wine, but ne'er inebriates. Too great reliance some will place on such wondrous a prize, but in thy moderation, sire, a truer safeguard lies. What in this grave and solemn hour I have on you conferred, you have with confidence received, relying on my word. The emperor's word is mighty, and assures all gifts, of course, yet his sign manual's needed too, his mandate to enforce. This they shall have, and see where comes most openly to the very man to give them the formal sanction due. Enter the Archbishop, Lord High Chancellor. This sounds like a Dark Souls boss. Like, name, enter the replace this with Anton, like Anton the Archbishop, Lord High Chancellor. Although it would need to be like of the Chapel of Dilapidated Tears, like Antor the Archbishop, Lord High Chancellor of the Cathedral of Ashen Tears, and then boom, Dark Souls boss music, and then it's the easiest fight you've ever fought. It is the most pathetic boss you've ever encountered before. And then the next boss is like Ted from accounting, and you cannot beat it without summons. Yaoi mentioned? Listen, gay-hearted. Your most important content, my Faust readings. The cat is there and isn't there. You have to turn around to find out. I let the cat out of my room, and if I turn around and the cat's still there, I'm not even going to be surprised. I'm just going to be minorly frustrated at this point. When one's an arch curvature is to the keystone braced, then is all future time beyond all danger placed. Thou seest these four princes here. To these we have explained, how in the days to come our hour and court shall be maintained. But now, ye five, on you and your sagacity and power, what will promote the whole realm's wheel is rested for this hour. In landed wealth 'tis meet that you all others shall outshine. Therefore to you these broad domains I here at once assign, the forfeit heritage of that revolted traitor crew. Thus many a region fair I give, for stanch ye were and true, together with the fullest right, whenever you see a chance, by raid or purchase or exchange, their limits to enhance, and power to exercise to unchecked whatever rights to you, as owners of the soil, by use and want are rightly due. The judgments you as judges give shall final be. So high your power shall stand, that no appeal against them shall ever lie. Then impose dues, and tithe and toil, and tithe and toll, safe conduct, duties, fees, shall all be yours, and mining, salt, and coinage royalties. For that my gratitude may thusly effectively be shown, I've raised you to a rank is only second to my own. Let me in the name of all to thee our deepest thanks express, making us safe and strong, thyself shall strengthened be no less. Even higher dignities and more I to you five will give. I live but for my realm, and I for that delight to live. Yet does the great ancestral claim withdraw my gaze from hours of stir and striving to the doom that still before us lowers? I too, in God's good hour, must part from all that I hold dear. Then be it yours to choose the man who shall succeed me here. On holy altar raise him high, the crown upon his brow, and thus bring to a peaceful close what was all storm but now. Oh, I have to remember these voices. Ugh. The shorter the name, the scarier the boss. Exactly. Like, listen, Dark King Grumthor's Edge of Annihilation is for sure scary, right? But that's for sure not as bad as the Throngler. Let's be real. Pride in our hearts, but bowed in deep humility we stand, thy vassals, princes though we be, the foremost in the land. While runs the blood within our veins in copious current, still the body we, prompt to obey thy every wish and will. And now to the end. Let all the powers that we today concede be ratified for all future time, be manual sign and deed. You or your property shall hold dominion full and free, on this condition, that ne'er partitioned out shall be. Moreover, if you add to what you now from us receive, you to your eldest sons the whole shall in like manner leave. To parchment presently will I transfer the statute, fraught with weal to us and to the realm, right happy in the thought. To have it written fair and sealed, the chancery shall see, and ratified it then, my liege. By thy great hand shall be. So I now dismiss you all, that you may conjointly deliberate on the events of this momentous day. The temporal prince retires. The archbishop remains and speaks in a pathetic tone. The chancellor has retired, my liege. The bishop stays behind, to crave thine ear, impelled by grave anxiety of mind. His father heart is sad for thee, and full of sore dismay. Dismay? Speak out. What troubles you on this so joyous day? With deep and bitter anguish, sir, at such a time I find thy hallowed head in compact clothes with Satana's combined. True, thou art secure upon thy throne, so seems it, so I hope, but heedless, of God the Lord, and of our holy sire the Pope, who, when he hears of this, will straight pronounce his awful doom, and with his lightnings will thy sinful realm consume. For he has not forgotten how, the day that thou wert crowned, a great and solemn time, thou hadst the sorcerer unbound, when from the diadem the first bright beam of grace was shed, a scandal to all Christendom, on that accursed head. But beat thy breast and render up, 'tis for thy spirit's health, the holy church some little slice of thy ill-gotten wealth. The broad expanse of hills, will say, where stood thy tent, and where in thy defense were branded evil spirits of the air, where to the prince of lies thou did lend willing ears of late, that spot do thou to pious use contritely dedicate, while with mountain and dense forest too, as far as they extend, and hilly slopes with verdure clad, that in broad meadows end. Pellucid lakes, well stocked with fish, brooks numberless withal, that hurrying down with snake-like bends into the valley's brawl, then to broad vale itself with meads, enclosures, open plains, a penitence that such utterance finds, sure grace and pardon gains. This heavy sin of mine so fills my heart and soul with awe, I leave it to you, my lord, the boundaries to draw. First to be the unhallowed spot, whose sins for vengeance cry aloud, with all due speed until the Lord most high for every vowed. In spirit I can see the walls rise high and ever higher. The first beams of the morning sun illuminate the choir. The structure takes the cross's form, complete in all its parts. Longer and higher grows the nave, and glads believers' hearts. Now through the stately portal wide they stream, aflame with zeal, and far over hill and dale resounds the bell's first ringing peal. They clash and clang from lofty towers that high aspire to heaven, and penitents throng in, and feel new life to them is given. On the great consecration day, that day soon may we see, when all are met, thy presence will the chief adornment be. A work so noble may serve to show the pious thought, to praise the Lord and expiate the sin that I have wrought. Enough! I can already feel my spirits soaring higher. This underhand and seal I now as chancellor require. A formal document that secures the church in full its right, lay thou before me, and I will subscribe it with delight. Has taken leave, but turns back as he's going out. Then to the work as it proceeds, 'tis meet thou dedicate, tithes, taxes, customs, tribute, toll, and every due and rate, forever. It requires so much the fabric to maintain, and the staff to keep the services up will cost vast sums, 'tis plain, to push the building quickly on so desolate a spot. Some gold of that which thou hast taken, thou wilt to us allot. We shall require besides, and this I needs must call to mind, much foreign timber, lime, and slates, and things of the like kind. The people from the pulpit taught will do the carriage, yes, and those who for her service work, the church doth ever bless. Oh, heavy is the sin, and great that such Oh, heavy is the sin and great that such dire penance craves. They've brought me to a pretty pass, those necromancing knaves. Returning once again and making a deep obeisance. Pardon, my liege, the realm's seashore to that vile, worthless man has been made over, but he will be blasted by the ban, unless there too our holy church in deep contrition thou with tithes and taxes, rents and due, and revenues endow. There is no land there yet, the sea sweeps over it far and wide. His time comes who's content to wait, with a right upon his side. We still shall have the royal word, no power may they gainsay. So may I just as well at once my kingdom sign away. Why did we need this? Like, I get that he didn't give Faust a title. The four princes better be returning characters. If they show up once, they're given titles, they take up half of a scene, and then they never show up again. It's going to be really annoying. You should dub the Throngler meme as a short. My issue with stuff like that, why would you listen to the Throngler meme if you can already listen to like Genie Collects, right? There's a bunch of great memes that have already been voiced by other voice actors, like on YouTube. And so, for instance, I could do like the gamer speech, but I think it's Alex Lee, the voice actor of the Persona 3 protagonist. Like he voiced like the "You're not a real gamer." Like I could do that one, but there's already like another voiceover that I very much enjoy that has done that. So, and that's the same reason that I have with why haven't I done a hey, here's your intro to Kane video, here's your intro to Lancer video, like because you can just watch Zactac's video, you can watch 11 Dragon Kids video, you can, if you want to watch like Vampire the Masquerade, you can watch Burger Creek's video. That being said, I do think that with that kind of stuff, I can make it my own, and therefore I'm planning on making either a Lancer or a Kane video sometime soon. I'm going to do the girlfriend video, then I'm going to do Lancer or Kane as the long form after that. That's my goal. Because like my explanation of like, hey, how do you get into Kane? What is it? Like what's the long and short? That's going to be different from anyone else who's done it. But just voicing a meme generally won't be. I've voiced a couple memes that I think have been voiced by other people, like Zach the Boulder, whoever. That's usually accidental. That's usually because I voice it and then they voice it and they're a larger channel than me. They don't know who I am. And I do generally do my own thing. I do more than just voice it. I do add like more images and memes and whatever. But ultimately, like, I don't know what I could add to the Throngler, right? The Throngler is a really funny meme, but I don't know who would care, is my concern. Which, at present, I have a voiceover meme coming out tomorrow, which I need to record and edit. And I'm planning on doing one of the 40K GF audios because I think that they're fun. I think people like them, but it's also kind of embarrassing. And it's something where like I only want to do them if people are like requesting them. And I made a poll and people were like overwhelmingly like, yeah, we want you to do it. You could make a Kane version of the Throngler meme, but with a Sin event. I feel like that's too narrow though. I feel like if I make it a Kane meme, that's too narrow. If I make it a D&D meme, that's kind of overplayed. If I make it a Lancer meme would actually go kind of hard. I missed the 40K GF videos. They were fun. I mean, I've only done 2 of them. I will say, I do think it is a little bit riding a line. I think it is riding the line of like effectively GFE, which there's enough obfuscation there. There's enough separation of like, it's very clearly not me. I'm just reading a meme that I'm comfortable with it. But it is something where I'm like, a couple people in the comments are just like, Arrow Kisser's eating good. Like, this is the closest we're ever going to get, which makes me concerned. I don't want to foster an audience that's like parasocial, but I think they're fun. So what I might end up doing is I might end up making one more GFE video not GFE video, 40K GF video voiceover, and then post it tomorrow. And then I might make those Patreon exclusive because I think that would be fun. Or I might do them like Patreon, like a week in advance kind of deal. Like, I don't know how Patreon exclusive stuff works. I don't like paywalls, as you know, from the fact that this will be made public. This stream will be made public after it's over. But I want to give more reason to check out Patreon. And so I started like the 40K vote. I'm doing the Lancer vote. Those are both public though. So I'm thinking that I might add like the girl frame raw and cut is going to be in Patreon. You have to pay for it. And I don't plan on making that public anytime because like that's more, right? You already have the video for free. It is, if you want more, you can watch that on Patreon. And I don't know how to make it. People have asked me, I'm not sure. I need to look this up. How to link like Patreon, YouTube members, Twitch subscriptions. Because like if you pay for Patreon, I think that you should basically get the same benefits as being a YouTube member, which is the same benefits as a Twitch subscriber. I don't think that there is any functionality for that. I think that they all want you to pay them money, so you can't get around that. But Lancer me would go hard, yeah. It's a character, not a person. I mean, it's a character, not a person, but in the same way that like if I make a ASMR roleplay video where it's just like, I don't know, like needy best friend confesses to you and like whatever, like that's a character, but that's still like, from what I've heard of people who do that, like the line between performer and character gets demolished instantly. Like if you start doing that kind of stuff, like there is no line. Because people don't want to show up for just like a random character. They want to show up for you playing a character. And that's where I'm just like, I'm not really interested in that. Sorry. But like the 40K GF videos are like 1 or 2 levels beyond that, where it is like, I am literally voicing a meme that someone else made. And on top of that, it is a different character. So I'm comfortable with them. It's just a matter of, I feel silly like bringing them up myself. You could easily make a YouTube short preview where members get early access, but yeah, it makes more sense to get traction in Patreon. I mean, like, and I hate paywalls. I hate being like, oh, you don't pay me, therefore you don't get all the content. But I do recognize that like, I'm at the point now where I need to keep up or increase my production of content, and I do not make enough money to justify that. And so I can't grow to the point where I can justify that unless I like start making more money now. And so like that sucks, and it's something that I hate to put on people, but it's also very much like I'm rocking like 30K subscribers, and the workload that goes into this, like I need to like stop. I need to like do a full pivot away from content in order to be financially secure, because I just do not like, I make about as much money as I made back when I had like 10K. Or not quite, because like I have a couple videos that are doing well. I have a couple videos like the Yuri video, which got like 3 million views, got me a good amount of money that like is nice, but I need to supplement that with more consistent income. I just noticed there was a book in front of your model. Yeah, this is my lounge screen. I have a cup of tea. I have my book. I have the passage right next to me. And because Member Streams doesn't like transmitting chat, I just don't have chat on the screen. Never ever make ASMR roleplay videos. I would fight you in real life. Yeah, so like I talk about this all the time. I'm of two minds when it comes to ASMR roleplay videos, where like I'm not interested, really. Like maybe I could do like a roleplay video because like I am a roleplay channel, but that wouldn't be like a girlfriend or like a partner or like a boyfriend experience. That would just be like a literally like a D&D style roleplay. I think would be fun. But like people who do like ASMR roleplay stuff, like they're exploiting lonely people. I'm not going to mince words. That is predicated off of a market where you are exploiting lonely people. You are cultivating a parasocial audience where you have specific members who have probably don't have disposable income, but feel like they can fill the void of their lacking social life in their life by giving you money. And that's toxic, and that is exploitative. On the other hand, everyone involved is a consenting adult, and you're getting that bag. And I'm not going to shame you for getting that bag. So that's why I'm like of two minds, where it's just like, it's work, and I'm not going to judge you for that. But also, it gives me the ick, and I think that there are some ethical concerns. I think that there is an ethical way to do it, but I do feel as though the majority of people who do lean into that stuff do go for the exploitative angle, because that is going to get you faster growth and more money. So like, I don't know if there's like ethical GFE, which like, if there is, like, bully for you, right? Yeah, YouTube money is hard to make, it seems. It's easier to make than I thought. I'll say that. But it is something where at least my YouTube income as a shorts channel is incredibly inconsistent. I might make a couple dollars off of a video that gets tens of thousands of views. If that, right? Depends on the short, depends on how many ads it ran, like all that stuff. Long form is actually way better for money. However, a short form that gets tons of views will get like a sizable amount of money. So, and when I say tons of views, I don't mean like 100,000. I mean like millions. If you get millions of views on your shorts, you will make money from them. And if you can get once a week, twice a week, shorts that get millions of views, you will be able to sustain yourself even in like a high income, area, right? But also, how many people are releasing shorts that regularly get millions of views? Like, obviously a ton, but also a lot of those shorts are just like content farms that use AI generated content or AI voices or just rip content from TikTok. But like original content that makes it the highest, like, oof. I know you can do early release of videos that only members can access, and after sometimes it's released to the public. See, I've considered that. My issue with that is the way I work and the way that my schedule is set up. I generally don't really have the time to be like, I'm going to make this synthop video a week in advance before I want it released. I'm almost always working on a project day of release, if not like getting it done the previous night. So my issue with that is I don't know when I would upload it for members early. What I could do is I could upload it at the normal time for members only. And then from members only, I could make it like a week later public. And I think the week later public, I can premiere it. I think that I can post it for members and then premiere it for public, which would be nice. The issue with that is that I would have to like fit that in my schedule. I'll think about it. Yeah, I probably need to make a buffer. I had a buffer for a while. I had like, oh, I'm going to have some backup videos, or I'm going to be like a week in advance. My issue is whenever I have a free evening, I don't want to spend it. I don't want to spend it editing. I spend like many hours a day editing. So when I have like a Tuesday night where I have stream on Wednesday, so I don't need a video for Wednesday, I just want to like chill because I'm probably doing like a commission already. So ideally, if I get one short done a day, because I'm releasing 5 shorts a week, I will be ahead. And then that will give me time to be like, hey, I already have the week's shorts done and I want a long form for next week. I can just focus on my long form. It's gotten weirdly heavy. Could you go back to Faust, please? I think I'm going to wrap up the conversation first, but it's definitely something where with content flow, I am someone who I have had projects that I will be like, I want this out in a week, and I will start working on it 3 days before it's due. And that's less procrastinating, and that's more I'm busy. And that's more so like, it's a Saturday night and I need a video for Sunday, but I also need a long form for Thursday. So I'm going to focus on the video for Sunday. And then once I'm done with the video at Sunday, it's like 12:30 at night. I'm not going to start working on a editing project at like past midnight. So I will just instead relax for the rest of the night. And then on Sunday, I need to like do chores and go to the store and whatever. And I need to make a video for Monday. So it's weird where it's just like, I'm constantly chasing my tail. I'm running on a treadmill, and I've been feeling like this for a long time. But I mean, I don't hate it. I enjoy it. I love content. It's just a matter of like, I just don't have time in the day, which is why I think like, I don't know if I would give up the reins to my channel though. Like, I feel as though the ideal for me, which is crazy, I think the ideal for me is I would be able to outsource clips editing. I would get a clip editor. So like, I get a long form clip once every other week, and I get like 2 stream clips a week. And then on the off weeks, I can release myself editing a TTRPG video. I can release Lancer content, Kane content, making Mega Dungeon, Hunter's Archive, 40K. Like, I can still do the stuff that I am invested in, but I kind of like have someone else outsource the less intense work, which sounds crazy because you'd think I would want someone to take over the more intense edits. But I feel as though my value as an editor has like more so improved by pushing myself with like a 40K edit or a Hunter's Archive. Like the Hunter's Archive, I learned how to like manage the Fusion tab. I don't know if you saw on Twitter or Blue Sky, I posted my node spread for the Justice corkboard. And it was just like, oh my gosh, that was so messy to go back into a spaghetti code. And then I had to remake it, right? Because I like nothing was labeled, nothing was organized. So I had to relabel it, and I learned how to use like undernodes. I learned how to organize it. I kept it cleaner. And now, ideally, when I do Fortitude's Hunter's Archive, I can just copy paste faiths. And I can delete the faith image. I can delete the Tasty Burger image. I can delete the blasphemies, and I can just replace them, and it'll be all good. The more intense work shows more of you compared to the less your style of content. I mean, the clips and arrow answers are 2 of like lighter workload. Like clips still take a while because I have to subtitle. But you might notice that in a lot of clips, it is like it's me in like my standard portrait with the main screen above me. And then usually there will be GIFs that play over it, like clips from like MP4s, and or I will have everything like disappear or blurred over, and I'll use graphics. And that's really the extent of my clips, right? I don't go super crazy outside of like zooms and blurs and whatever. Like obviously I still use my flourishes that I use in everything, but I very much allow myself to have stream clips and arrow answers be chiller. It is like Hunter's Archive is where I'm like, hey, I want to like get a node array here. I want to set up this corkboard. I want to be able to move between them all. I want there to be a floating dialogue box that represents what the Under Heaven members are saying, what the binders are saying. For 40K, I'm generally like, I'm going to have the noble in the Imperial Knights video. The noble is going to come up, and they're going to like come to the left, and then they're going to smack to the right, and then they're going to be pulled off screen to the right, and like to reveal Lord Hork Canorum behind them. Like that's the kind of stuff where like I could do that in clips, but that takes enough time and effort that like it makes the clips no longer worth it. The clips are intended to be easier for me. So yeah, like my style of content, I absolutely would say is most demonstrated in my short form scripted content, right? That's like when you think of arrow rights editing, you should probably be thinking of like a Lancer video. You should probably be thinking of like a Making Mega Dungeon. The stream clips and the arrow answers are just kind of for ease of access. And I think for the girlfriend video, I'm gonna try something similar but distinct from what I did for the synth-off video. The synth-off video, I very much I added like CCTVs, monitors, I added like stuff behind me specifically so I could demonstrate stuff I wanted to talk about, pages of it. I don't know how I'm going to do this for Girlframe. What I might do is I might set it up so that the girl frame video is do I have MS Paint on this window? I don't think I do. That's a shame. Boo. Okay. But I think I might do like the Titanfall POV cockpit view. And then it's like you're in your frame and I am speaking to you from like your frame as you as the pilot. I might do that because then that would allow me to change the visuals you're looking at while still keeping the continuity of what, because when it comes to presentation in like long form, you may have noticed I changed it every single time in the Synthop video. It started as a monitor that was upside down that then fell and got right side up. And then I slid in a massive CCTV. And then I had a wheeled TV on a cart come in that then got bigger. And so it's the idea of I try to make it so that you're not just looking at the same thing for the entire video. Even if I'm not adding in a bunch of clips and jangling keys and like my like Minecraft speedrun parkour in the background, I want it to not visually fatigue you, which is antithetical to doing it efficiently and quickly, right? So that's just something I always struggle with. So for the girlfriend video, it might be similar to the Synthop where it's like 3 or 4 chunks of, well, actually, I doubt the girlfriend video is going to be shorter than 15 minutes. The girlfriend video is probably going to take a while. If not longer, like 20, even 30, because I have a lot to talk about and I have clips I can show. And the clips are going to make it easier because the clips, I don't have to edit. The clips, I can just like cut, like scrap together, do zoom ins. We're fine. But you like your keys? That's why we have keys on the main screen. That's what that's for. Anyway, Faust. There they are, how well I mind them, the dark lindens old and strong, and I am again to find them after years of travel long. 'Tis the old spot, unforsaken, still the sheltering cot is there. As wind billows tempest shaken, flung me on the sand hills bare. My kind hosts, I fain would greet them, brave good helpful souls, again, but I scarce may hope to meet them. They were aged even then, pious, ah, how pious were ye! Shall I knock or call? What ho! Hail, if kindly still as ever, you of good deeds the blessing know. Hush, hush, stranger, hush, no breaking on my husband's spell of rest, to give to his few hours of waking vigor, good long sleep is best. Mother, thou still here, and he too to receive the thanks I owe for the young man's life, by ye two saved me many years ago? Art thou Bacchus, who so tended, nursed me back to life? Though he, who with courage splendid snatched my treasure from the main, you fire, blazing fast and faster, your bell with its silver sound, they from that so dire disaster, me a safe deliverance found. Let me on a little way there, view the boundless ocean first, let me kneel, let me pray there, seems my heart as it is to burst. Quick, wife! Spread the table under the green shadow of our trees, let him go, he'll start in wonder, not believing what he sees. Where the billows wildly booming, savagely maltreated you, now 'tis like a garden, blooming fair as eye could wish to view. Old in years as I was growing, help I could not as of yore, and while my own strength was gone, farther off too went the shore. Great folks serfs with dauntless daring, trenches dug and bulwarks spread, ocean's ancient rights impairing, to be masters in its stead. See, green fields on fields, and nigh them, woodland, garden, mead, and town. But now come, our viands, try them, for the sun will soon be down. Far out there, see, vessels beating up to port for night repair, bird-like to their nest retreating, for there's now a harbor there. Only on the skyline yonder may a streak of sea be seen. All ways, far as eye can wander, lies thick peopled land between. Do any of you know what that means? Who is Bacchus? And her husband? Was he even brought up earlier? Probably. I don't remember. I don't know who he is. Oh, it's another short one, Pog. We might be able to just tank it. If I just go for like another hour, we might be able to tank it. No details, no diatribes. If I start yapping, scream. Just start screaming. We're gonna finish Faust today. 3 at the table. Sorry, I had to sneeze. Silent still, and not a grain here yet has crossed your lips. Oh, wait. Silent still, and yet not a grain here yet has crossed your lips. Odds life, yet our marvels more he'd fain hear. You like talking. Tell him, wife. Marvels I, if ever any, even yet they make me grew, for in manner quite uncanny, the whole thing was carried through. Can the emperor be to blame? It was himself gave up the shore. Did a herald not proclaim it, trumpeting as he passed our door? On our downs hard by their footing first was planted. There we seen bothies, tents, but soon upshooting rose a palace midst the green. Vain all day their hacking, tearing, pick and shovel, stoke on stoke, where night-long great fires were flaring, stood a bank when morning broke. Human victims surely bled there, through the dark their cries were borne, flashing fires to seaward sped there, 'twas a great canal by morn. He is godless, he has set his heart upon our cot, our wood, a fine neighbor he, who'll get his will, and will not be withstood. Still he made a fairish tender, a snug farm on his new land. Never know your own knoll surrender, trust not what he was sea and sand. To the chapel, on the dying, rays of sunset there to gaze, let us ring, kneel, pray, relying on the God of ancient days. Cool. This is about the palace that the emperor gave, the sea that the emperor gave up, I assume, and then forests popped up, presumably by Mephistopheles? I don't know. I don't care at this point. How much do we have left? We have... No. I thought we only had 2 more scenes. Okay, no, this is not it, Chief. We have 3 more really long scenes. Okay. Crazy idea. Crazy idea. I was going to wait until Faust was done after this. Lock in. I think I do scene 3. We see how I'm feeling after scene 3. I might be able to do scene 4. Tomorrow for Twitch, I finish Faust. And then I play Darkwood. Because already my plan was to go Wednesdays and Saturdays just to start stream. I would read like a chapter of like The Count of Monte Cristo, or I'd read like The Man in the Iron Mask or The Three Musketeers or something, like other classic literature. Moby Dick. I just like start stream with reading a chapter and then I shift into what I wanted to talk about. I feel like Wednesdays I won't be able to do that though, because Wednesdays now I'm shifting into I'm going to start with a thing I want to do. I'm going to start with like I'm making a Kane character. That's what people are interested in for this upcoming Wednesday. So probably going to do Wednesday starting by making a Kane character and explaining how to make a Kane character. Gosh, I need to make a clip of the Lancer video. I think I might make a clip of the Lancer video, a long form clip of the Lancer video, and then girl frame the week after. That might work out. So I could show people what making a Lancer frame is like in a 10-minute video. Okay. Lock in. Faust, in extreme old age, walking and meditating. So are we just not addressing the fact that he wanted to be a noble and just... No? Okay. Lynceus, the warder, through speaking trumpet, sinks the sun, the ships are nearing port before the night shall fall, and a stately bark is steering hither up the great canal. Her gay pennons flutter brightly, on her stout mast swell the sails, blessings on thee seamen mutter, thee the blessed thy fortune hails. Accursed bell, its tinkle wounds me, like caitiff shot from hand unkind. Unbound is my realm before me, vexation stings me from behind. It minds me by its hateful pealing, my happiness is mixed with pine. The clump of limes, the dusky shieling, the crumbling chapel are not mine. If there I wished an hour of leisure, shades not my own would blight the day, they would be thorns to dash my pleasure. Oh, would that I were far away! How blithely does the galley gay before the fresh breeze cleave its way! How on its bearing a towering horde of sacks, chests, coffers piled aboard! Mephistopheles and the Three Mighty Companions. Back already, land we here, all hail master, patron dear. Well, have we shown what we could do? Content if we are praised by you. With but 2 ships we went away, now 20 have in port today. By the rich cargo we have brought, behold what great things we have wrought. Free ocean sets the spirits free. We make our own whatever we see. What's needed there is a hasty grip. One grabs a fish, one grabs a ship. Once we have 3 of these in store, we'll never rest till we have 4. Then is the 5th in evil plight. Who has the power, he has the right. The what's the question, not the how. At seaman's craft I am not clever. Trade, commerce, piracy are now a trinity, to be surrendered never. The 3 lusty companions. No thank or welcome, no welcome or thank, as if the things we have brought him stank. Quite out of humor he looks and grim. This royal booty delights not him. Yeah, I bet if that you were a lusty companion, you would be complaining about your booty not delighting someone. Expect no further reward, for you have already taken what was your due. You're only jesting, fair's fair, we all insist on an equal share. First range in order, through hall and hall, the things are richest, one and all. The dazzling show when he comes to see, and finds how precious and rare they be. Be sure he'll do the handsome thing, and give the fleet high junketing. Tomorrow the bona robas come, they shall be well cared for, all in some. By Die bunten Vogel of the original Birds of Gay Plumage, Goth seems to mean the dull tear sheets of the neighboring port. Yeah, me too, Goth. Me too. With gloomy look and brow austere, you of your high goods fortune here, success has on your wisdom smiled, ocean and shore are reconciled. And from the shore the ocean sweeps, your ships and speeds them o'er its deeps. Then speak, and from your palace here, your arm clasps either hemisphere. From this spot dated all the good, 'twas here the first log cabin stood. A tiny trench was cut, no more. Where plashes now the busy oar, your people's toil, your master brain, have wrung this prize from land and main. From here to that accursed here. 'Tis this which makes my heart so sick. I must whisper in your ear. It gnaws me, stings me to the quick. The thought I cannot bear nor crush, yet must at the avowal blush. The old folks must turn out up there. I want that lime grove for a sight. These few trees, not my own, they quite the charm of all I own impair. There, far and wide around to gaze, from bow to bow I'd scaffold raise, whence should be open to the view all that I've done, broad vistas through, and at a glance might be surveyed, the master workman's soul had made, winning, by well-concerted plan, a wide and fertile home for man. So we are kept upon the rack, midst riches feeling what we lack. The tinkling bell, the lime's perfume, haunt me like crypts or churches' gloom. The will, with which no mortal copes, is broken on these sandy slopes. How of the thought to be beguiled? There goes the bell, and I am wild. Of course, a great chagrin like this is gall and wormwood in your bliss. Who but will own this clink-clank must fill every fine ear with disgust, and this cursed ding-dong bell that shrouds the cheerful evening sky with clouds, mingles with each event and mood, down to the grave from babyhood, till life, twixt ding and dong, doth death the chaos of a faded dream. Marred at its height is our success by merely willful stubbornness, so that in angry deep disgust, one tires at last of being just. Why fret? How have you this many a year not worked at colonizing here? Go then, away the old folks clear. This pretty little farm, you know, I picked out for them long ago. We'll bear them off and plant them there, quite snug, or ever they're aware. A pretty home at any rate, for usage rough will compensate. Whistles shrilly. Come on, your lord's behest complete, and he'll tomorrow feast the fleet. He gave us scurvy welcome, least he owes us is a rattling feast. Here too, bed falls what long ago bed fell, here too, bed falls what long ago befell, for we've a Naboth's vineyard here as well. For my keen vision noted, set to watch in night, to my tower devoted, the world's my delight. I scan the far forces, and I mark what it is near, moon, stars in their courses, the woodlands, the deer. Thus a charm never failing I see all around, and I am glad, hailing the joy I found. Oh, happy eyes, never unblessed for whatever you have looked on, whatever I met you, it was fair. Not for my enjoyment merely am I stationed here so high, for the dark what horror drearily breaks what menace on mine eye. Fire flakes shooting up, I scan them through the linden's twofold night, fiercelier as the wind gusts fan them, rage the flames and fash more flight. Ah, the cot's on fire, unheeded, damp it was and moss o'ergrown, sorely swiftest help is needed, help or succor there is none. Ah, the good old man and mother, erst so careful they of fire, they will perish in the smother, perish, oh, disaster dire! All aglow within the lonely, dark hut, flames around it swell. Oh, if these good souls might only escape from out yon blazing hell! Tongues in flame shoot up and flicker, twixt the leaves and branches green, withered boughs consuming quicker, blaze a while, then fall between. Eyes shall you see this, ah, me, must I so far-sighted be, crushed by falling branches, crushes down the chapel to the ground. The steeple now with forked flashes, coiling serpent is crowned. Now to their roots the tree trunks blighted, glow red in the fiery blast. What erstwhile the eye delighted, hence hath with ages past. Aloft there, what a cry of wailing! Words and moans are now too late. The warder grieves, though unavailing. My grief for this rash act is great. But though the linden grove ablaze there, lie all in ruin, charred and black, a stately tower I'll quick raise there, to look from far as eye can track. There, too, I see the new home folding, within its walls the aged pair, who, grateful my care beholding, shall end their days in comfort there. We've come as fast as we could hie. Your pardon, things have gone awry. We knocked and kicked and kicked and knocked, and still the door they kept is locked. We knocked and we shot it well, and then the rotten fabric fell. We shouted and threatened loud and clear, but could not make the people hear. And, as folks do in such a mood, hear us not they neither did nor would. But we, remembering what you said, soon turned the old souls out of bed. They made the business quite easy. Down dead they fell, of simple fright. A stranger whom they had aboard, and who showed fight, was quickly floored. In the short scrimmage it fell out. From cinders that got strewn out, the thatch caught fire, 'tis blazing free, a funeral pyre for all three. No ear to my commands you lent. No, not plunder, but exchange I meant. This brutal outrage, mad and worse. I curse it, hence, and mong you share my curse. The ancients saw, we have it here, that might give a ready ear. If bold and reckless what befell, risk house and home, yourself and all. The stars conceal their sheen and glow, the fire begins to smolder low, a chilly breeze upon its wings, to me the smoke and smother brings. Rash hest too recklessly obeyed, what there comes hovering like some spectral shade? My name is Want, and mine is Blaine. Mine is Care, Necessity, that is my name. The door is bolted, we cannot go in. A rich man dwells there, and we may not within. I fade to a shade then. Then I cease to be. There the eye is too dainty to look upon me. Ye sisters, ye neither can enter nor dare, but the keyholes of portals sufficient for care. Grace, sisters, away, here no more may we bide. Where you go, there I go, and stick by your side. On your heels I will follow, necessity saith. How is this 4 arrows? I feel like 4 arrows showing up, you'd either have a very good time or a very bad time. The clouds they roll up, disappear star and star. Behind, from afar. He's coming, our brother. Death! He's coming, our brother is coming. Death! I saw 4 come, and only 3 go hence. Some words I heard, but could not catch the sense. Necessity, said one, with muttered breath. And then there came a real rhyme ill-omened. Death! A dull, dead sound of ghostly note, methought. Not yet have I my way to freedom fought. Could I sweep magic from my path, forego the spells of sorcery once and all, and grow a man unwarped by creed or care a while? Then, to be a man were worth the while? Since was I once, ere my studies fed, with the dark lore of arts inhibited, ere my chagrin in impious frenzy burst, and mine own self and all the world I cursed. And now the very air do phantasms fill, that how'd escape them passe mortal skill. Yeah, if for us one day hath cheering gleams, night wilders us with spirit-haunted dreams. The fresh green fields have made our pulse dance. Then croaks a bird. What does it croak? Mischance. Clasped soon and late in superstition's arms, it will be heard, it haunts us, it alarms. And so we stand alone, scared, trembling, dumb. I heard the door creak. In has no one come. Is someone there? So asked, I say, there is. Who then art thou? Enough that here I be. Go, get thee hence. My proper place is this. Take heed, Faust, use no spells of wizardry. Though the ear may hear me not, fear is in the heart begot. In for every changing guise, cruel power I exercise. On the ocean, on the shore, sad companion evermore. Always found and sought for never, cursed, cajoled, and flattered ever. Care hast thou, then, never known? I've galloped merely through the world, I own. Each pleasure by the hair I'd seize, cast off whatever failed to please. What scaped me left unheeded go, first craving, then achieving, then longing for something new again. And stoutly on through life went storming so, grandly at first, and foremost in the race, but sagely now, and at a sober place. Of man and earth I know enough. What lies beyond is barricaded against our eyes. Fool, who with blinking gaze out yonder peers, and dreams of kindred souls in upper spheres. Let him stand firm, and look around him here. Not dumb this world to him that bears a brain. Why through eternity should he career? What things he knows will in his grasp remain? So let him roam on through his earthly days. Through spirit gibber calmly holds his way, and longing still and still unsatisfied, accept his fate. Let joy or grief betide. Him I in my grip have got, all the world availeth not. Gloom upon him ever lies, sun set not for him nor rise. Sound and outward sense and hail, darknesses within prevail. Riches fineless may be his, yet he ne'er their master is. Whim to him are good and ill, he mid plenty hungers still. Be it joy or be it sorrow, off he puts it till tomorrow. All intents on what's to be, evermore unready he. Have done, this is for thee no place, nor me to listen to such trash befits. Away! That litany so vile, so base, might rob the very sagest of his wits. Shall he go, or shall he come? Doubt doth he resolve benumb. On a beaten road and straight, he will pause and hesitate, lose himself more deeply, view all things more and more askew, burden to himself and others. Breathe he breathes, yet breathing smothers. Lifeless, though, of living kind, not despairing, not resigned. Such an all-drift career, sad, dejection, helpless fear. Now exulting, now depressed, poor enjoyment, broken rest, chains him to the spot that bears him, and in time for the hell prepares him. Oh, phantoms evil-starred, 'tis thus you hurt, man, whenever so ye hold him in your fangs, even days that might be happy ye pervert into a tangle of avoidless pains. 'Tis hard, I know, for demons to get free, the strong leash spirits weave few hands may sever, yet, mighty and insidious though it may be, thy power, O care, I will acknowledge never. Then feel it now. I leave behind my curse on you, as swift away I wend. Through their whole lives the race of man is blind. You, Faust, be blind. Now your life nears its end. She breathes upon him, and now he's... you know what, screw you, blinds your main character. For gray people, that's fair. That's fair. Night seems to close in deeper, deepening still, but all within is radiantly bright. What I have thought I hasten to fulfill, the master's bidding that alone has might. Up, vassals, from your lairs, give me to scan the glad fulfillment of my daring plan. Up, to your tools, ply shovel, pick, and spade. Straight must the work be done, so long delayed. Stern discipline and toil intense shall have the amplest recompense. One mind to guide 1,000 hands, and perfected the work, my noblest stands. Okay. We've been going 2 hours. And we have 2 more scenes. We have 2 more scenes. I want to tap out. Okay. I think I don't finish this tomorrow. I think I just read it on Friday. I think I finish it Friday. And I think on Friday, I finish it, and it'll probably take me like an hour. I'm allowed to stop at any time. I know, but I'm so close. I'm so close I can finish. It'll be so easy. It'd be so easy. I think I end here. And I think from here, I read the final 2 scenes next week, and then depending on how long that takes, I might gap for a bit. And I might start working on the Stone Age CTRPG, because the Stone Age CTRPG is something that I want to get done and don't really have time for. So I want to keep my Friday member streams, and I want to turn them into like a study buddy corner. I want to turn them into a body double section where I can just focus on my own work. And if you want to show up and like be productive with me, you can. Either way, thank you so much for swinging by. It wouldn't be though. Oh, shush. Thank you so much for swinging by. If you're watching the VOD, welcome on in. If you're watching this live, hi. And otherwise, I'm going to go drink some water. I'm going to go on a walk. And I'm going to record the 40K video for tomorrow. Thank you so much for swinging by, and have a lovely day, night, evening, or whenever. Or afternoon. Bye-bye.